All right, so today we got UFC Fight Night Houston, Strickland versus Hernandez. Full card picks and predictions. I think it's going to be a great, fun card. Maybe not the biggest names on here, but there's a lot of fun banger fights, a lot of scraps, and I think we get a lot of finishes in this one. So let's start off with the first prelim of the night. We got Cardi Judice versus Juliana Miller. Cardi Judice is a good prospect, good little prospect. Juliana Miller probably wants to get to the grappling in this. Judice is a good finisher. I think she has 2 UFC fights so far. 2 UFC fights, and both by finish. So I'm going to pick her here. I think she has the good, better striking. I think her only losses are by split decision. And she's actually a pretty good prospect in the women's division. I think she's a better striking here, the more superior. And I think she'll be able to keep it on the feet and get like a round 2 or 3 TKO. Maybe a decision, it's women's MMA, but she has been getting finishes. So I'm going to go Cardi Judice by finish, like later in the fight. Just kind of wearing it on, like just a beat her up type of TKO. Just beat her up, and that's it. And we got Jordan Levitt versus Yadir Delval, the gambling addict himself. But Delval, he's a great prospect in the division, in the featherweight division. Jordan Levitt on the feet, he's kind of whatever. On the ground, obviously, he has great grappling. He's that weird, icky grappling. And he's susceptible to rear naked chokes, which he's been choked out a few times by that. And Yadir Delval, I think that's his signature. He just got it in his last fight against Bulgarian. That's a betting fight. He's got good striking. He's got power in the striking. He's got the more superior boxing. And he's got maybe even the better scrambling ability. I think the better scrambling ability. He's more athletic. He's more powerful. I think he's just a better fighter in this fight. And I think he either gets a round 2 submission or round 2 knockout, like a TKO, ground and pound, or hurts him on the feet, gets him to the ground, and then ground and pound or sub, like something like that. I think it hurt him on the feet, and get him down. I think this is gonna be his fight. It seems to be one-way traffic for most of it's from Yadir Delval. He's a bigger guy, more imposing. I think he gets Levitt out of there in like 2 rounds, maybe. Yeah, I'd say about 2 rounds, 2-3 rounds. They could be, I'd say sometime in the middle of his fight. So I'm gonna go with round 2 submission. I'm gonna go rear naked choke for Yadir Delval. Maybe a TKO. I could see that as well. Next up, we got Phil Rowe versus Jean-Paul Labosnoyani. Labosnoyani, the much shorter guy, is a big reach disadvantage, 8.5. But Phil Rowe, he's not very good at keeping the range like he should in fights like this. And I actually think the stubbiness of JPL will help in this fight, getting him some strikes, maybe some takedowns. We've seen Phil Rowe get smudged his last fight against Seo Kyung Ko, who's a great prospect in the division. And like I said, the stubbiness of JPL, it's a 4-inch height disadvantage. Phil Rowe, he's able to be held down. I think JPL, he's got some good striking as well, good kicks. If I'm not mistaken. What was his Contender Series fight? Was that the... Never mind. I don't remember his Contender Series fight. But he's a good all-around fighter. He's got some good IQ. He's got some good athletic ability. And I think he's going to take this bout by decision. I don't think he's going to finish Phil Rowe. I could see a Phil Rowe decision as well. Either way, but I think JPL is going to be able to... I think the striking will be competitive. And JPL will get it to the ground. Maybe hold him down, get some control time in there. And I just think Phil Rowe is kind of inconsistent, He's a little inconsistent, and I think JPL is just the stubbiness will help. Because people with shorter heights, shorter reaches have been able to get in Phil Rowe and get in his face and win the fights. So for that one, I got decision. Now for Ramiz Brahimaj versus Punahele Soriano, it's a tough fight because Punahele Soriano, since moving on to welterweight, he's been able to impose his will a little more. He's big, he's powerful. He likes to wrestle, likes to smudge. That's kind of his thing. And Brahimaj, his striking's looked a little better. He's got the better grappling. He's got the sub attempts, especially the ghillie, which Varetnikov was able to get some sub attempts on Punahele Soriano in this one. In the last one, I think it was mid last year maybe. something like that, mid last year with Vertnikov and Soriano. So I think Brahimaj, I think he's going to be competitive on the feet. Soriano probably has an edge there. The wrestling might go to Soriano, but I think the grappling and the sub attempts to Brahimaj. And Punahele Soriano has slowed down a little bit in his fights. I think maybe later on in the fight we could get a Brahimaj submission from that takedown attempt. Maybe Soriano gets a little lazy, gets a little tired, and gives up his neck like he's been doing a lot on his takedown attempts. And I think Brahimaj could get a sub later on in this fight or a decision, but I think Brahimaj will win this one. Honestly, Soriano could win, but it's a close fight. It's a very close fight, tough one to pick. But I'm gonna go Brahimaj by sub, like round 2 or 3 in this one by guillotine from Soriano just giving up his neck. We got Norikono versus Jocelyn Edwards. Okay, so this is a rematch from a few years ago. I'm gonna go Edwards by decision. She's on a nice win streak. She's pretty well rounded. In this fight, I think Norikono has the boxing advantage. Jocelyn Edwards has the striking advantage in this one, at range. I mean, she's better at mixing it up on the feet. I think she'll get the grappling going and then just take this one by typical 29-28, maybe 30-27 women's decision. I don't think she'll get a finish in this one, but yeah, there's not much to say about this fight. Next up, Auden Correa versus Luis Gruel. Auden Correa is actually a teammate of Josh Van, so he's fighting in his hometown. Have Van in the corner, who's also going to be fighting Tyler soon. It's a very tough fight. And Gruel, 0-2 in the UFC. He lost to Ode, who's on this card as well, by knockout last year. And then, also last year, lost to Jesus Aguilar. A pretty close fight, but there's nothing about Gruel that stands out to me, I don't think he'll be able to get the wrestling going. I think he's the inferior striker, boxer here. Correa's got a nice size advantage. What's the reach on them? Only 3 inches more. He's got a nice, more of a reach, height advantage. He's a better boxing as well. He can mix it up well with the boxing, his combos. And I think he gets this one by TKO in the second round. Second round. I just think he's I think he's going to be in the feet mostly, and then he's just a better boxer. He's more explosive, he's more athletic, or more powerful in that regard, and I think he's better there. I think he's just to be able to implement his game plan more, implement his skill set more, and get a TKO finish in the first or second round. Probably second round. I lean second. So that's my pick for this one. Now, tough one as well with Libby Idris and Ode Osborne. I'm not going to lie. I'm going with Ode Osborne. Yes, his grappling is okay, but I think Libby Idris is kind of sloppy. He's not defensively great in that fight with Joseph Morales. From what I remember, he was susceptible to body. He did not like the body shots, and he was not very good when Joseph Morales was pressuring him. He's good when he's putting the pressure on, but he's not very good when the pressure's put on him. And I think Ode will be able to implement it early. Ode's a fast starter. He's powerful. He started against Ursek, but he does slow down a little bit. Able to get imposed on by the opponent's grappling, which is the problem in this fight. Why it's tough to bank on him. First round, maybe second round TKO for Ode. It's flyweight. But I'm honestly confident in him. I have a good feeling he could get a KO here in the first round, early second round. I'm going to go Ode Osborne. I think he'll be able to land his jab, land his twos, just be more explosive, more aggressive early on, and actually make Alibi uncomfortable, go to the body. If he could go to the body, that's a big, big weapon for him, I think, in this fight. And I think if he imposes his will early, he's going to be able to get a TKO in this fight, get back in the win column. I like Ode. I want him to win this. I hope he wins. I honestly think he wins. I think ever since this fight was announced, I think it's relatively short notice this fight was made. At least for one of the sides. I don't remember who. I think it was Alibi. It was relatively short notice. Who was Ode supposed to fight? Or whatever. I think this fight was probably made on short notice. Not like 2-week notice or something, but shorter notice than usual. I think that's what it was, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going Ode by KO, round 1 or 2. And then now I got Chidi Njokwani versus Carlos Leal. So Chidi's coming after the loss to Jake Matthews. That was like a minute. I don't remember that shit. Carlos Leal's coming after the loss to Muslim Salikov. A dumbass performance. Did he just walk forward with his hands down, feet wide? Kind of just head hunting, which he's done in his career. Like, he did beat Renat Fakhretdinov, but I don't think Renat's that good, honestly. He beat Alex Morono, but it took him like 4.5 minutes. I know Daniil Donchenko just had a little scrap with him, but hey, I think Daniil Donchenko looked better than Carlos Leal, because Carlos Leal, if I remember correctly, in that fight, he was just walking him down the whole time. Didn't like really cut off the cage and just kind of head hunting, not really mixing it up, just head hunting, trying to get a big knockout shot. And yes, he might be able to do it to Chidi Njokuani, who's a little chinny himself and has been finished before. But I don't think it's on the feet. Like, you just gotta cold him or something, or just get him out of there easy. And Carlos Leal, he could slow down after the first. I think Chidi Njokuani, he's good. Like, Alex Morono did a good job moving. Yes, so he still got knocked out in the first, but I think Chidi's a better striker. He's longer. He has more weapons. The kicks are going to be good. He's better at managing range. He could move around, dance around the octagon, get his teep kicks going, maybe help slow down Carlos Leal. And Chidi, I think he could get this one done by like TKO in the second, third round, or decision. Could see a decision as well from him. I'd bank more on a finish, but I think Chidi could just kind of piece up Carlos Leal at range, and even in the clinch, because I don't think Carlos Leal is that good of a striker. He's got a head hunt, and I think Chidi has more weapons, better range management, better movement, and I think we'll be able to like evade Carlos Leal, who's gonna be there with his head down like this, chin up in the air, looking for a knockout blow. So that's what I got for this one. Now, that was a prelims, yeah. So prelims, I got Chidi by late TKO decision. I got Ode Osborne by early TKO. I got Auden Carrera by mid-rounds TKO. Edwards by decision. Brahimaj by late submission or decision. JPL by decision. Yadir Duvall by finish, round 1 or 2. Most likely a sub. And then Carly Judice by late TKO. Or decision, of course, but probably I'm going late TKO. Now onto the main card. This fucking fight, dude. Michel Pereira versus Zach Reese. Two shitters. Michel Pereira, last 3 fights he had good start versus Fluffy. Hurt him a little bit to the body, which we might talk about a little later. Hurt him to the body. But then because he had drowned for 5 rounds, his cardio sucks. His next fight with Abus was 3 rounds, literally just standing at range, not doing anything. He's still gassed, and then gets quartered by Kaldakis in 40 seconds. Zach Reese, on the other hand, is like a little bit chinny early on. He's got some decent grappling. Got a sub his last fight. He has some subs on his record. It's like, will Michel Pereira be able to get it out of there in the first? I don't want to bank on Michel Pereira getting an early knockout. I can't. I'm going to go Zach Reese by like submission in the later half of this fight. Once Michel Pereira slows down, I think Michel Pereira might come out a little more, I don't know, I could see him coming out more gun shy or more aggressive to get the finish early. But I think that could, fuck. I'm going to go Zach Reese by like submission round 2. This is a tough fight. I think I'm going to go with Zach Reese like submission round 2 or 3. I can't trust Michel Pereira. I don't have that much trust in Zach Reese, but can't trust Michel Pereira either. So that's what I got for this one. Next up, we got Jacoby Smith versus Josiah Harrell. Josiah Harrell coming in on short notice. I mean, he's stubby as fuck. Jeez. But Josiah Harrell's got, I think he's a bit of a slow starter. He's got great jiu-jitsu, good wrestling. It's kind of like a little like Jacoby Smith, if I'm not mistaken, but Jacoby's a faster starter. He is a better wrestler. He has great top control and ground and pound from that position. And he's not taking this one on short notice. He was supposed to fight Seo Kyung Ko. That would have been a tough fight. That would have been a great fight. But Josiah Harrell's coming in here undefeated. Short notice. He's had the heart problems, like his health issues. I think Jacoby Smith might get a round 1 or 2 ground and pound TKO. I think he can get him out of there. maybe a decision, but I think Jacoby Smith, I really like Jacoby Smith. Yes, his last fight against Nico Price was good performance, but like there's some shaky bits, especially the cardio aspect kind of slowed down. But I don't think he'll come out as aggressive. He'll come out successful, but not as aggressive. And I think he's going to get the wrestling going. His wrestling going, of course, get some top control and get a ground and pound TKO over Josiah Harrell in the second round. I'd say maybe Josiah Harrell slows down a little bit because it's short notice. But I think Jacoby Smith will be able to win this fight by TKO ground and pound. Next up, Ante Delija versus Sergey Spivak. So Sergey Spivak, he could get, if he gets his wrestling going. Damn, the triple nipple, bro. If he gets his wrestling going, he'll have success. He could literally smudge Delija to a decision, I think. But I'm gonna go with Delija in this one. Spivak's a little slow. He's old. We saw it against Almeida a little bit. He kind of got blitzed and is TKO'd. And Spivak likes to go like this, put that high guard up when he gets a little hurt. And at that point, it's kind of just dead, you know. And I think Delija, he comes out very aggressive. He almost got Waldo out of there. I know I scratched him, but he almost got him out of there. I think if he comes out aggressive and just puts his foot on the gas early and makes Spivak put this high guard up, he's fucked. Or Spivak's fucked, and Delija just get it poured on, because Delija, when he gets you against the fence, and like you're covering up, and he's just letting out on you, he's hard to like stop. He's gonna let go, and he's gonna get you out of there. So I think that's what's gonna happen in this fight in the first round. I think Delija's gonna come out pressuring, aggressive, land a big shot, maybe hurt Spivak, and then get him against the fence. He's gonna kind of shell up, and then Delija's gonna rain it on him, and then he's gonna call fight. Like it could be a standing TKO, honestly, or he lands a big shot, Spivak drops down, and then that's it. It's gonna be some shit like that, in my opinion. Next up, Melquizo Costa versus Dan Ige, motherfuck. Melquizo Costa, good little prospect now. 5-fight win streak. He's shown good grappling ability. Then you guys gotta have the boxing and wrestling advantage and the power. Melquizo Costa's gonna be able to kick at range, stay behind his kicks. He's got good hands, but mostly the kicks are his biggest like tool, you could say. He's got good grappling ability. He is a little bit shaky, in my opinion, with the chin right now. Again, in this fight, especially Dan Ige. Dan Ige is one guy who's gonna come in, march forward, like, because I don't think Costa's gonna get Dan Ige out of there. He's a hard motherfucker to get out of there. I don't think he's gonna do it. There's been a lot of guys he's fought who are better than Costa who have not got him out of there, and who he's hurt. So I think he's gonna hurt Costa one time in this fight. And that's what worries me, because I could see a Dan Ige knockout. I could, but I'm gonna go Costa. I think he's a better, more skilled fighter in this matchup, and I think he'll be able to stay behind his tools, stay behind his kicks, like I said, and get a decision win. But Dan Ige is very dangerous in this position. You know, gatekeeper. Is Costa good enough to get in the top 15? I think he is, but maybe his chin kind of doesn't hold up against a big Dan Ige bomb. When Dan Ige comes in there, maybe feints a level change, comes over with a big right hand. But I think I'm confident. I'm decently confident in Costa to get this one done. I think he does it by a decision. I don't think he's gonna get Dan Ige out of there, but I think he'll have more output, be able to dance around, kick, whatever it may be. And if Denny gets a grappling or the wrestling going, Costa could scramble, maybe get some dominant positions, or just get back up. So that's my pick for this one. I got Costa by decision. Now, welterweight co-main event: Jeff Neal versus Uros Medic. I'm gonna go Jeff Neal in this one. Medic got some good kicks. He's a glass cannon. You know, he got dropped by Urbina, like literally 5 seconds, and then KOs him 50 seconds later. But I think Jeff Neal, he loses to the best of the best. And a lot of these big, long, lanky guys with kicks, where Uros Medic does have those kicks that he could implement. But I think Jeff Neal, he's got tight boxing, good tight boxing. He's got decent head movement there. He's powerful, which is obviously not good for Uros Medic. He's got a good left hand. They're both southpaws, so that left hand's going to be open for Jeff Neal to land right down the middle, which I think is what's going to end this fight. Shit. Medic, I I don't know. This is not a good matchup for him. He could win, but I think Jeff Neal. And also Jeff Neal's chin is a little questionable after the Protest knockout. But I think Jeff Neal has shown good durability. I don't think one knockout's going to really deter him that much. Especially against Eros Med, it's just a much different test than Protest. Jeff Neal, I think he'll be fine in the tight boxing, getting up close. It'll be a scrap while it lasts. I don't know how long. I think it'll be in the first round. I think Jeff Neal gets him out of there later on in the first. Lands a big left hand, feels him out. But I think Jeff Neal, I trust his defense in this one. I trust his head movement. He does stay on the center line. He doesn't move laterally as much, but I think his head movement on the center line will be good. I think Eros Medic could get it done, but I think Jeff Neal's going to get this one done by a first round knockout. I just think this is a good matchup for him. What the hell just happened? Hello? The fuck was that? Alright. Yeah, so Jeff Neal, round 1, TKO. Now on to the main event. Very interesting fight. Because at first when I saw this announced, I was like, okay, Fluffy's going to get this. He's going to have more output. He'll be able to take Sean Strickland down. What's Sean Strickland's takedown defense? 76? Okay. I was like, he's going to be able to take Strickland down. More output. And then I was like, Strickland's got good cardio. He's got decent wrestling ability. Good get-up ability. Very good get-up ability. Striking looked a little shaky against an aggressive opponent like Drickus last fight. Even in the first one, Drickus was able to get some good shots on him. The Costa fight was just like... Paulo Costa was a shit Paulo Costa in that fight, in my opinion. Obviously, could have been Sean Strickland's game, or was Sean Strickland's game plan, his style. But I think it's a Fluffy. Like, Strickland, I think his jab, his teeps, because Fluffy's been hurt to the body, but I feel like he has bigger shots than, like, teeps and shit. Like, teeps. Really, like... I don't think he's going to get Fluffy out of there. It could wear on him, but... And Fluffy, you're able to hurt him on the feet, but he's a dog and he just fights through it. And he has high output, obviously, the strikes. He set, like, striking, his little high output, miss, or whatever, and then get the takedown and keep going. I don't think Strickland's going to get tired. He has good cardio. But I think Strickland, I don't know if his striking is good enough, like his jab, his teeps. I don't know if they're good enough to, because the thing is, I think his ability to disrupt Fluffy, like, that's what I was thinking. I think Strickland he could disrupt Fluffy. Like, because Fluffy, if he's not getting the striking going, where he's able to, like, come in your face and kind of just make you uncomfortable, it's hard for him to get his grappling going, I think, to get his takedowns going. And it's like, Strickland's, like, on the back foot especially. Because Strickland, when he's good at marching toward you, putting the knees up, teeps, jab, marching toward you. But when he's on the back foot, will he be able to do that? Because he's got to be on the back foot in this fight. I don't think he's going to be out here putting Anthony Hernandez on the back foot. So, I'm honestly going to go Fluffy in this one by decision. It's a tough fight. I could flip-flop. Because I flip-flopped this week. I already flip-flopped. I was at Fluffy when it was announced up until, like, last week. Then I was like, Strickland. You know, I was thinking about it a little more. Because that's a fight. I don't really think about the fights too much as they're announced. I'm like, okay, whatever. Because there's usually other fights going on. I don't remember when this one was announced, but whatever. And as the fights get closer, I'm like, okay. You know, I could see this guy, think about how they fought, who they fought before. And then, because I didn't watch film in this fight, honestly. I've had stomach virus the whole week. I've shit probably 30 times. I actually shit myself yesterday. A fart that I thought was, or shit that I thought was a fart came out. Just so I wasn't able to watch film. I'm just kind of going based off what I know, which is not great. Honestly, my memory when it comes to these fights, like remembering exactly how everyone fights, how their last fights have went, are not great. My memory for that, there's so many fights, so many fighters. I'm like, my memory may be flawed of how I watched it. Like, for instance, because I like to watch for entertainment value. Like, because making content, YouTube, TikTok, it's like, okay, that's one thing. But then when the fights come around, I want to just be a fan. I want to be a fan because I don't want to get burnt out, you know? Like, I've seen that with some people. I've had that feeling before when I was watching it too analytically. Some fights I've like watched fights too analytically, and it's like, damn, I just watch. I can still make an analysis off the fight from watching it like a fan, but I don't want to get too critical. And where I'm like burnt out, I'm like, where it's like a whole job, it's a whole analyst desk position. No. So I watch these fights for entertainment value, and then when I go watch film back for the fights, that's when I get my analytical breakdown. But for these, I'm just kind of going based off what I know for a lot of these, based off what I remember, I should say. And you know, I'm leaning fluffy, honestly, by because Strickland also stands straight up. His hips are like open to being taken down. He's able to be taken down. I think Fluff, I just, it's hard. I don't see Fluffy. Oh my god, this is a tough ass fight because I don't see Fluffy like holding down Strickland for long periods of time. You know what? Let me go back to Jerkis. These Jerkis fights. DDP versus Strickland 1. What are the stats? They have control time here. Fuck me. Well, he had 6 of 11 takedowns. That's 55%. That's pretty good. As the fight went on, 2-1, 0-3 in the fourth. Round 5-0-2. They have UFC stats, okay. I want to see some just control time. When you had 2 minutes of control time on 6 takedowns. I know Jerkis isn't like as great of a wrestler or a grappler as Fluffy, but he's got good he's got good grappling. And only 5 seconds of control. He only had 1 takedown, shit. But yeah, I just don't see Fluffy being able to hold him down for that long. I'm gonna think about this tonight. Like, I need to think about this tonight as the night goes. But right now, I'm gonna be going Strickland by decision. I know I've been flip-flopping on this shit, but it's difficult. It's a difficult fight to pick. I'm gonna go straight. I just don't see Fluffy holding him down. But on the back foot is Strickland to be able to implement his game plan. His teeps on the back foot, which is open for takedowns. Those are takedowns right there. Actually, oh my god. I'm gonna go Fluffy. Fuck it. I'm gonna go Fluffy by decision. I'm gonna go with my first choice, Fluffy by decision. That's it. Those are my picks and predictions. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. See you in the recap tomorrow night.